Okay, the next pack that we want to cover is the Canadian, and this has been a really popular pack for us.
This is, we started messing around with this pack in 2005, the fall of 2005, and what had happened was we had done the Eastern, the Western, and the Alaskan. And what we realized was the Western was working really well in that application we thought the Eastern was going to, and so we decided to build one that fit in between the two. It's sized in between the two, and it fits between the two. The cubic inches, forgive me because I've forgotten what those are, is 2,200 inches, and it comes out cubic inches, and it will expand out to 3,850 with the cool meat zipper we keep talking about. We're going to really show you that on this one. This has been the #1 selling pack in the whole entire Blacks Creek lineup for 2006. And it's only going to get better because of the features this pack has. It's got all the little bells and whistles that everybody kept saying, I wish my pack had.
Yeah.
You know, for 4 years since we started this whole game, you know, everybody kept saying, I wish my pack had, and you and I talked about it several times. We wish that we would have done this, we wish we would have done that. And I kept writing that stuff down, and that's where the Canadian came from.
And I think that's an important point. We listen. If somebody comes up and talks to us at a show or out in the field, we remember what they talked to us about.
Absolutely, and we talk about it because those ideas and those things can transfer right into a better product, and it would be ridiculous not to use them.
Yes.
You know, so we're not too proud to listen. If you guys are talking, we're listening. So the Canadian has the outer main compartment. The first outer main compartment is nothing more than a complete organizer pocket. So before you ever have to get into your backpack, you have organizer pockets throughout to put your flashlight, your batteries, all your miscellaneous. That's easy to get to. You don't have to mess with the stuff on the inside of your pack. On both sides of this outer compartment, we put a knife pocket, and if you are a mini mag style flashlight lover rather than a headlight or something like that, there's one on each side. So flashlight, knife, whatever. You choose what you want to put in those. There's only certain things that'll fit there. And then we put a waterproof zipper out here on this pocket right here for the radios and the GPSs. We need to be able to get to those quickly, and if you're not carrying something on the side of your pack for your accessories and you're just keeping them in your pack, then this is a great pocket, and it has the waterproof. I say waterproof zipper, Jim, not very well, but it's actually what they call a mudguard zipper, and it's made to keep the crap out of the teeth so your zipper works well. So it's an unprotected zipper. It doesn't need to have the flap over the top of it, and it keeps the mud and the rain and the snow out and keeps stuff dry inside there. On the top of the pack, this pocket right here has an orange pull-out, which is going to work great if you're packing some horns, you need some additional orange, or you're just uncomfortable with somewhere you're going in. Pull that thing out so people can identify you as not an animal. The next pocket back is the main compartment. The main compartment has pockets down the inside of it, and you can organize some more stuff there. This is where you would put you know, your clothing, the stuff that you're carrying that you're not getting to all the time. If you're taking extra clothes off, you don't need time on the outside, you can put them in. This is the main section of your backpack. And so that's the pocket you're going to use when you're just carrying the stuff in, carrying it out. However, you can use it for meat if you're just using it to carry meat out.
Oh, yeah.
There's 2 pockets. You can load this thing to the gills with meat. On the bottom of the pack, there's a bow carrying pocket. When you pull that pocket out, it's pretty simple. It's got a boot for the bow to set into. Let's slip this pocket back in there real quick. All of the pockets that come out of the zippered pockets, you just roll them up and you stick them back in there and zip them closed. It's an easy deal. Nothing keeps them totally out of the way. So the bow is going to sit down in this pocket, and you have a compression strap at the top. Take that out of those pockets, that right there. One strap around the top of the bow seems to be enough. There's lots of straps on here. There's other straps here that can go to the riser if you really are worried about your bow falling off there. Take this one strap off the top. When they produce these, they put those through those little loops, and they're just a little bit annoying. Grab that bow, Jim, and let's stick it in here. It's going to set right down, quiver out into the pocket just like that, and then the one strap can come around the top of it just like this. You can hook it and pull it tight back to the bow to the pack, and it's going to keep that bow right there. Your quiver's going to be on here, that's fine. Your quiver's going to be, this will go behind the quiver and hold the bow on there nice and tight and flat.
And it may look long now, but that's because there's enough room to allow for this bag to be full.
That's right. Yep. Compression straps are real key on a pack. If a pack is floppy, there's problems with a floppy pack because it just doesn't fit you right. So we use lots of compression straps, and on some of the straps, not all of them, we put these cool little pieces of Velcro. So once you have them adjusted the way you want them, you can shorten this strap up to whatever length you want. Just like this, just rolling that thing up, and when you get down to where you want it, you take the Velcro, you bring it back over the top, and you close it, and that strap now isn't going to come out of there. So on the sides they have that. Let's take the bow back out of there. On the right-hand side of the pack and the left-hand side of the pack, there's pockets that come out here. The top of this pack has a spotting scope pocket right in the middle right here. So you can put a spotting scope down through this pack into the inside of it, into the guts of it, and it's going to miss all the compartments that I'm showing you. It's a separate pocket. If you're carrying a spotting scope, you may want to carry your tripod. You can carry your tripod in this pocket. If you're right-handed and you're a rifle hunter, you can carry your rifle in this pocket. And the same pocket is on the other side. So if you're carrying both, you can open this up and you can carry your rifle and your tripod. And there's a place for those. And like Jim and I have talked about several times, there's all kinds of cool stuff you can carry in there. So anything, leave it to your imagination on that. On the outside compression straps on the Canadian, we've done something a little bit different than we've done on the other packs. Put this back in here. We've taken the compression straps and we've put them on an angle, and that's going to be just a little bit hard for you to see that maybe. This compression strap, and this compression strap, there's three of them. They're designed to pull the pack in against the back. We've talked about this, how the weight of the pack ends up, everything ends up in the bottom, the weight seems like it's heavy. This compression strap comes off up here and comes down at an angle. What that does is that picks that weight back up and brings it back up into the pack. The other two compression straps will pull everything flat. So as you put stuff in here, make sure you use these compression straps. These are going to keep your pack from flopping around, and they're also going to keep your pack from tearing up. If you only use one compression strap and you're carrying 120 pounds, there's a chance you may break something somewhere. I mean, it's a possibility. So the more of the compression straps you can hook, it doesn't matter if you have it hooked here and here and here. It doesn't matter what you do with them. Hook them and use them to pull the pack in flat. Jim, I have seen people do this. This is kind of an interesting concept, especially on the Alaskan. What they do is they take these, they're just carrying the pack in empty. They extend those out like this. They bring them over to this side, like this, and they plug them in here. They take this one and they plug it into over here. And when you pull that in, it sews that whole pack up tight.
I'm one of those guys.
You do that?
Yes.
You don't want a floppy pack. Use the compression straps any way you want to hook stuff on there. They're designed to stay on there, and they're designed to hold your stuff from rattling around.
That's so important, especially when this thing is loaded with meat and you've got that all up there.
That's right.
Cinching, that's what they're made for. That's why these things were put in there. So you can cinch that meat down, cinch that load up against it, and it'll always be comfortable for you.
It won't be flopping around.
That's right.
The flopping around, it takes more muscle throughout your whole body to carry a pack that's flopping around than if you have a nice tight pack. So use all the straps, pull everything in tight, do it right in the beginning. It's like packing a horse. You can throw a bunch of stuff on there and stop when you go a half mile down the trail and retie everything, or you can tie everything right the first time, use everything the way the old boys have figured it out. That's what's happening here. And then you're not messing with it.
Well, not only that, for those guys that are extreme hunters and get into that really, really rough country, you know, it can be a safety factor. Anything that's flopping around can pull you into a bad situation.
Yep, that's right, if you're climbing something steep. The bottom of the backpack has compression straps as well. You can pull the bottom of the backpack in nice and tight. You don't want that, you don't want all that weight down there. Keep that tight up a little bit. You can also use it to put stuff underneath. You can't put a big, huge sleeping bag down underneath there. If you have a nice down sleeping bag you have inside your backpack, there's room in there. You could put a sleep pad down here, a ground pad. So the ground, that so straps on the bottom, you can use it multiple ways. The unique feature on the Canadian and the Alaskan is the rip around, zip around outside zipper that moves your pack away from your frame. So when you need to carry something out, you have an expansion chamber. Right now, this pack shows no expansion chamber. It's a very effective day pack. You can use it just like this. And when you get in the field, you can do what you always wanted to do.
Load my meat in it. When it goes down, the first load out's in this thing.
That's right. So,
And listen, I don't change packs. This is what I pack my meat in. I don't take the first load out and then change to a frame pack. This was made so it would be comfortable. This is
Yep.
the pack I do the whole job.
and so you take your meat back and you load some of the gear that you don't need to go back up.
Rain gear, if it's not raining, take out my rain gear, some of my survival gear, because I'm only going in and out.
Yep.
And then I go back and get my meat.
And you put more meat in. And
Yeah,
you
listen,
use-
just a little tip on it. I'm kind of lazy and I don't like to wash all the blood out of the inside. So what I do is I put them in a canvas bag first, my meat. Then I drop it in a garbage bag, plastic garbage
Yep.
bag, and then drop it in there. Then when I get there, all I got to do is pull it out. There's no mess in there.
It's a good idea to have garbage bags anyway. You can take a garbage bag and you can fill it with pine needles if you get left out there all night long, and you can turn it into a blanket.
Well, I don't want to do that, but that would be a good idea to
So
know.
why not carry some garbage bags? How about for a raincoat? You
That's
cut a hole
right.
in it and stuff your head
I
through
have
it.
done that.
Yeah, so I mean, garbage bags are good to carry, and if you need them for meat or whatever, you have them. So you have the outside zipper, and it's real important that you understand that when you use this meat compartment slash pack whatever you want feature that's up tight against your back where you want it, that Jim had designed and thought of for years, this zipper needs to be unzipped all the way. So starting with the zipper that would be on your right side, on the back on the right, start with this zipper and bring it all the way around. You can undo these compression straps if you need to. It's not a big deal. Just get them out of the way. You don't have to undo them if you don't want to. Bring the zipper down and around. A lot of people, when they first started using this feature, were unzipping their zippers from top to top and bringing both of them down here to the bottom. That puts a ton of pressure on the zipper down here on the bottom with it trying to pull away, and they would pop sometimes. So unzip this thing all the way around. Bring it back up the other side. Compression straps, key, compression straps, you gotta have them. Undo the compression straps, get to the top of the pack, it unzips like a coat, just like that, and comes apart. Now there's no pressure on the zipper because I have it unzipped. And what you have is you have a pack that's completely moved away from the frame. This has got an H-Tech aluminum frame on the inside of the pack, I'll show you that in a second. And you have a huge meat expansion chamber that takes you up to 3850 on cubic inches. So what you can do is, this pocket here is for the water bladder. Jim doesn't use one. It's kind of a neat feature. A lot of people do like to use them. It's set up so it's got a place for the hose right here. The hose is going to come through over the top of the shoulder. The shoulder strap's got the clip on it, so you're good to go with the water bladder if you have one. The meat chamber is totally separate from the backpack. And like we've talked about, take a quarter, take a hunk of meat, take whatever you use and put it in a plastic bag, slide it in here. You don't have to worry about getting blood and stuff on the inside. When you have that quarter in there, these compression straps are black. The compression straps on the pack are brown. Now, like I talked about earlier, the most important part about this is making sure everything is pulled back tight. Jim and I have talked about that a lot. You want to make sure everything's tight in this pack. These compression straps can be undone, and you have enough to go all the way around the whole pack. So if you're trying to tie some horns on here, and you have a hunk of meat in here, these are long enough that you can strap these around here and pull it down tight. You don't need to have a hunk of rope to tie this stuff on the pack. You have 6 compression straps on each side and 2 on the bottom. So 14 compression straps. If you can't get something tied in this pack with 14 compression straps.
You're hurt. Listen, something else that I like about it is, in the old times when I had to use a pack frame, I had my hands completely full carrying coats, anything extra that I had, and if I was carrying a little waist pack or something, that had to be carried or strapped on everything else. This is still there. All your accessory stuff, your jacket, your rain gear, your survival gear is still with you in these other compartments. And you still have the meat compartment to carry your load.
And where it needs to be, and this is the light stuff out here, so the light stuff doesn't make a difference.
Exactly.
It pulls in tight against the weight.
And you're going to suck that all in too?
Absolutely, yep. And you can take, the buckles are the same. So if you want to take this strap and you want to pull it over the top, and you know that this is the wrong color, but for some reason, when you got to it, you had a brown one and a black one, hook them babies up and pull them down tight. The key is pulling everything down tight. With 6 compression straps on each side, the inside 3 black ones are pulling on the Cordura bag that is making up the interior pocket. They're not pulling anywhere on the frame that's going to cause it to tear a seam out. It's pulling on the Cordura, which is part of the whole bag. Then you have these coming around. Then you have these that are tied into the seam, and they will pull whatever you don't pull with these here in. So this is going to bring your outer bag into your inner bag. So that's why we've got 3 inside compressions, 3 outside compression straps.
Strength is what it is.
And tight, that's right. That's the Canadian, folks. We don't want to bore you to death with it, we just want you to know how to use it. 1-800-742-1405 is our 1-800 number. You can call it anytime. You can send us an email, blacks, BLACKS, -creek.com, or
elkhornhuntgear.com.
Jim's there. If you send him an email, he may be gone for a few days, 3, 4, 5 days. Don't get irritated because he doesn't respond right back, because he's out doing shows and doing different stuff. And as soon as he can, he'll get back to you. And the same with me. I will get back to you. If you send me an email, I will get back with you. We're busy people. So that's the Canadian.